Did you know that sexual compatibility for gay men is a big legend? It's a myth. Everybody talks about sexual compatibility. I'm a top, I want a bottom, I'm a bottom, I'm looking for a top, without realizing that sexual compatibility is impossible. I think the reason why gay men are looking for that connection based on sexual compatibility, it's simply because they are looking to connect. That it has really nothing to do with the sexual compatibility, but it has everything to do with the fact that they just want to feel comfortable. They just want to feel validated. And the way that they know that they get validated and that they feel good is when that so-called top and bottom or bottom and top connection occurs. But in the long run, there's a very big price to pay for that. Imagine this. Sexuality is a quite complex and actually a very vast area of study. You can imagine it's like an ocean, and to sail the whole ocean, it takes years for people to study the subject. There are experts in sexuality, they are called sexologists, and they take years and years to understand sexuality. And so for gay men who have never studied sexuality, of course, we're going to resort to certain simplistic behaviors that, in this case, involve asking for and imagining that it's all about sexual compatibility. And before I studied sexuality, I was just like that. I was looking for a total top, or I was looking for a total bottom, and I said, okay, this is what I like and this is what I want, and nothing else matters. But I discovered that the more I focus on sexual compatibility, is the more I prevent myself from widening the number of people that can be really good for me. In general, good people. And so if I'm looking for sexual compatibility, I have this many people available. If I'm looking for just good people in general, there are this many available. A lot more. And in life, in relationships, we want good people with good character to start with. Whether they're sexually compatible or not is irrelevant, because sexual compatibility is a myth. It simply doesn't exist because there are thousands of sexual behaviors that are possible in the bedroom. And nobody's going to give you everything the way you want anyway. And just one behavior of penetration is one behavior out of hundreds of thousands of behaviors that can occur when you're naked with another person. So when you catch yourself that you really desire that sexual compatibility, I have a few questions for you, or a few suggestions for you rather. One suggestion would be, how about you ask yourself, what is it that you really, really want? Are you looking for the penetration, or do you want him to spend the night and give you a nice cuddle and maybe have some breakfast with him? What's more important to you? And I think this is where we're going to really get to the core issue, that perhaps there's some addiction, there's some sexual addiction going on, instead of really looking at what really makes you happy, which is the fact when he hugs you, when he caresses you, when he spends the night, when you watch a movie naked and afterwards you just cuddle up and he spends the night, and in the morning, on a Sunday morning, you maybe go to church or you do breakfast together, have coffee together. Doesn't that sound a lot better than just having the penetration and he'll probably leave because there's somebody else who's going to be penetrating, or he's going to be asking somebody else to penetrate him the following day, and this perpetual cycle of new people? I think that when you really think about it, sexual compatibility it's kind of silly. It's a little game that we play with one another. And the moment you relax that, and the moment actually when you learn more about sexuality, I highly recommend you take some courses or read more books about it. You will discover that you can be touched in hundreds of ways that give you pleasure. And you can touch others in hundreds of ways that give them pleasure. But it will take a little bit of knowing, a little bit of learning about it, how to do that. The popular culture of gay hookups, Craigslist, Grindr, many other hookup websites, resorts to the impulses that are based on very limited understanding of sexuality. And remember that if that's what you resort to, the big items of character are going to be much more difficult to develop and to observe about other people, especially if you look through the lens of sexuality at other people. So for example, you can look at me right now and you may say, okay, I like Paul, he's a handsome guy, but what if he's a total bottom? Or what if he's a total top and we're not compatible? All of a sudden you would lose the opportunity to interact with me one-on-one because you have this preconceived notion that I have to perform certain penetration with you, for you, or allow you to penetrate me. And that would just completely distort our ability to have a lot of fun together. Doing a lot of sporting events together, going out, having a lot of fun at museums, going out for a walk, going out to the beach, going to a coffee shop, reading a book together. So the sexual compatibility would mess the whole thing up. So I hope that you're seeing that sexual compatibility is really in the way. It will be in the way of you and me, perhaps. And that wouldn't be fair to you, that wouldn't be fair to me. So just imagine how much more fun, how much more excitement, how much more joy you're gonna have when you let go of that sexual compatibility and introduce more flexibility and more awareness of different ways of receiving pleasure in sexuality, and also maybe adjusting your perspective, maybe catching yourself in a certain sexual addiction, catching yourself in a certain maybe old-fashioned way of looking at people. As the years are going to be passing by, you want to build new friendships and relationships that last. And when they last not because of sexual compatibility. They last because of character, because these people genuinely care about you, and because these people are loving and caring deep in their hearts. And if you put this block between you and those people because they're not sexually compatible with you, you're actually giving up on experiencing hundreds of extraordinary, joyful, happy, loving moments with them. Let me ask you this. Think about a moment in childhood with a friend that you felt completely ecstatic, you felt so happy, you felt so immersed in joy. Think about that. And remember, back then, you did not care about sexual compatibility, right? And you experienced that. You can bring that into your future exactly the same way. You can re-experience that freedom to be yourself, and you can bring out that happiness and that joy when you remove that one thing that will stand in the way, that sexual compatibility. Allow yourself to look for not having to have sexual compatibility so that you can grow with the person that's next to you. And of course, so that you don't eliminate people that could really make a difference in your life. Just like if I met you in person, we may not be sexually compatible if you use that old-fashioned mindset, and you would have given up on all kinds of value I could bring to your life. And vice versa. If I use that old-fashioned mindset of sexual compatibility, and if you would not be compatible with me, I would be giving up on all the joy, all the amazing things that we could be doing together. So let's remove the sexual compatibility mindset, and from today on, look for people that will make you feel good and happy outside of the bedroom. And in the bedroom, just learn more about sexuality, learn more about tantric sex, take some of my courses or read other people's courses, and discover that there are thousands of things you can do in the bedroom. And you can recreate your sexual compatibility with a different partner in a different way. And it becomes a wonderful process of self-discovery and setting yourself free from the prison of sexual compatibility. So I hope this helps you. I'm looking forward to sharing with you more. And as always, go out there, think big, stay present, and be a leader in your life today. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.